We are back. 2024 fantasy team review. We get to talk about the New England Patriots. They've been kind of a wasteland for fantasy since Tom Brady left. This year's no different. Usually you get teams that have 4 or so guys at least being drafted in fantasy draft. Patriots have 2. If you play a 16, this is half PPR ADP, and if you play a 16-round draft, which most people do, they have 2 guys. Rhamondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson. So they're 2 running backs. Sorry, they have 3 guys. I lied. They have Hunter Henry as well. So it's not exciting for the Patriots. It is a new era. Bill Belichick's out. They brought in a new quarterback, which they're probably going to bring him on slowly, but we'll see. Pressure from the fans always comes up, but we'll jump right into it. It seems like it's going to be Jacoby Brissett potentially to start. I don't know how long Brissett's going to have. We're talking redraft football here. We're talking about 1 quarterback. Even in Superflex, I'm not super excited in Jacoby Brissett. Like, he was fine for Cleveland there for a stretch a couple years ago, but he's a fine quarterback he can come in and win a couple games if your quarterback goes down, but he shouldn't be a long-term starting replacement kind of guy. I don't know. Is there anything to talk about with Brissett here in a 1 quarterback league?
No, just like I said in the last video, just remember the amount of quarterbacks that got used in the NFL. It was like 65, 66 last year. So there's a good chance that your fantasy quarterback's going to get hurt, and that's where Brissett, Jacoby Brissett comes in, when you need a quarterback because your guy got hurt or something. So that's about all I see him.
Yeah, and actually he's not even being drafted. His ADP is in round 22. I just told you most people play 16, maybe 17 rounds, so he's not even close. Drake May is close to being drafted. ADP 203, round 17. Even for Drake May in a 1 quarterback, Superflex is different because there's some potential there. In 1 quarterback, though, like, if he's good, you'll pick him up off of waiver wires. I like Drake May. I think he's a very good prospect. We didn't get to see much from him, and I think he threw 4 passes in week 1 of preseason. So both these guys are waiver wire guys, and we're not expecting much from the New England offense. They could be the worst team offensively in the NFL. So the only guy maybe that we're interested in is Rhamondre Stevenson, who is a round 4 pick. I think this has actually changed a little bit, but he's a round 4 pick here. And his ADP, he's a round 5 pick. I put round 4, but he's a round 5 pick, the very end of round 5 as the RB21. You see the numbers there. He had a good 2022. He was a top 15 running back. Last year, he was disappointing. He got hurt. Ezekiel Elliott was there, all that stuff. Now they paid him. He seems to be their guy. They're going to give him most of the workload here. The only concern is that he's on a crappy offense. So let me just rattle off some names. I know we talked about it in last week's video. The guys that are going in round 4 to round 5, right, is Mixon, is James Cook, Mixon, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, James Conner. We like all those guys more than Rhamondre.
Yeah.
And then it gets interesting, right? Because after those guys, it's Rhamondre, it's DeAndre Swift, Zamir White, Najee Harris. Now we're talking of okay, Swift, we don't really know what his role was. They were kind of weird in preseason week 1. Zamir White, he's going to be a 2-down guy. If they're keeping the game close, he's going to get 20 carries. What does that mean? I don't know. He's not going to catch any balls, though. Najee Harris could be in a 50-50 split with Jalen Warren. So where are you at when you compare Rhamondre to those guys? Swift, Zamir White, Najee. Do you like him a little bit more than those guys?
Yeah, a little bit. Swift. Now, my concern with Swift is, the Philadelphia offense doesn't seem to throw. Now, I know they got a new offensive coordinator. They don't seem to throw the ball to the backs very much. So that
Swift is on Chicago now.
I mean, on Chicago. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I blew that one. That was last year, and
But you're right.
but Chicago. There's some. You're gonna be sharing the backfield with a
Mhm.
couple other guys possibly. So Zamir White, I think he's going to be the man with the Raiders. So, but to make I'm kind of flying off the handle here. I like Rhamondre, then Zamir White, and then probably Swift number 3.
Yeah, well, yeah. What about Najee? Where does he fit in that?
Yeah, he's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
it's yeah. Go ahead.
it's too bad. I think Najee's a good back, but
It's not exciting, essentially. None of these guys are exciting. You're talking about, again, he's at the very end of round 5. If you need a running back, you're kind of like, all right, well, I need to get one here soon. So, like, I don't hate it when I compare him to those other guys. Maybe I'll take Swift because I think that offense could be better. I just don't know what Swift's usage is. There's a total wild card there. Um, Zamir White, I put Zamir White and Rhamondre in a very similar situation. I don't think the offenses are going to be very good, but I think Rhamondre has a better chance at catching passes. So I might lean Rhamondre there. Najee, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Like, I don't know. It's not great. I don't hate it. I don't love it with Rhamondre. The biggest concern is just how many times are they going to be in the red zone? I do know I'm not too worried about Antonio Gibson taking much from Rhamondre Stevenson. Maybe pass catching stuff, but he can still catch balls on first and second down. So Antonio Gibson is also being drafted, like we mentioned. He's essentially your second to last, maybe last bench piece. Any interest in Antonio Gibson here? I mean,
yeah, not really. Even
yeah,
unfortunately, I like the guy, and I liked when he was playing with the Commanders. It seems progressively his production has gone down, and I don't think it's his fault or anything else, and but that's just the situation. He's on a new team now, but we'll
yeah.
see how it
I
all shakes out.
mean, if you're talking about Antonio Gibson on one of the best offenses in the league, then I can make a case for him as a PPR guy. But we're talking about maybe the worst offense in the league, so it's just not attractive at all. The wide receivers are kind of it's a hodgepodge of guys. Like, just listen to the list of. I know they recently let Juju go, so that clears it up a tiny bit. But you just have a bunch of wide receiver 2/3s and rookies. You have Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, Jalen Polk, KJ Osborne, Javon Baker, Tyquan Thornton, Kayshon Boutte, Jalen Rager. Like, it just keeps going and going, and
Wow.
just no one stands out. Demario Douglas is probably my favorite in this group, in PPR especially, but he's going to be severely limited. Like, you're expecting him to get like 6 for 60, each week, or five for 60, stuff like that. And I think he has that slot role kind of on lockdown. He's not even being drafted. He's a waiver wire guy. He's round 18. I might throw a dart at him just because there is a chance that Drake May comes in and this offense is good, just like CJ Stroud last year. There's a chance that happens. So I might want to take a chance on either him or like a Jalen Polk. But how it seemed to play out, I think Douglas was hurt and didn't play in the preseason. But it basically started. They started Tyquan Thornton and KJ Osborne. That's who the two starting receivers were. Jalen Polk and Javon Baker came in much later. So I don't know how this is all going to play out. I think it's going to be KJ Osborne and Demario Douglas are going to be in wide receiver 1, 2, 3. They're going to be in the top 3. Is it going to be Polk next? Is it going to be Kendrick Bourne? I don't know. I probably just avoid all these guys. Maybe I take a shot at Demario Douglas. Jalen Polk is probably a waiver wire guy later on in the year. I don't know if there's anything to add here, Dad. Do you like KJ Osborne, Kendrick Bourne, any of these guys?
I happened to watch, I don't know why, the New England, at least half of the New England Carolina game. There was like nothing else on TV, and the announcers, I think they were pro New England, and they were kind of blowing Jalen Polk's horn pretty hard and
Mhm.
saying he's going to be this and that. And is it going to happen this year? I doubt it. Dynasty guys, pay attention. I know most people have already drafted Dynasty. This guy was drafted pretty high out of University of Washington, but could be something for this year. I don't know. Those guys are all trash
Yeah,
for a redraft this year.
they are. And again, if it's Jacoby Brissett leading this team for any long stretch, like he's kind of fantasy poison. He gave you a good Amari Cooper season there for a little bit, but that's about it. Yeah, I mean, it's just ugly. It's ugly. And again, I like Jalen Polk, Dynasty, and things like that. And I think he's a good player, but I don't expect much from year one. So you can see a theme here. It goes pretty quick with New England. Hunter Henry is the other. He's the third guy being drafted. I don't know why. Like, I understand why, but like Hunter Henry's been a fine tight end in the NFL. He's been top 15 2 of the last 3 years. The thing is, he needs to catch touchdowns, and we don't know how many touchdown passes he's going to catch. And at the same time, it's like, do you really want to waste like your last roster spot on Hunter Henry when you could probably just pick up someone similar to him during week 6 when you need a tight end? Like, hopefully he's not your starting tight end, God forbid. But, if you're taking him as like a backup, just take a shot on like a running back that might play because, someone gets injured ahead of him, right? Like, you could take a shot on a Kendre Miller, a Khalil Herbert, a Tyrone Tracy before he got hurt, guys like that. Like, Kamani Vidal. I don't know. That's just how I approach it. I don't really care. Hunter Henry's not a difference maker. Will I start him at one point this week? Maybe, or this season, maybe. But like, I can find 10 Hunter Henrys, and I'm not going to be sweating. So, anything you want to add on Hunter Henry?
No, you're spot on. I mean, what started off as a nice career with the Chargers, catching passes with Phillip Rivers, and he's kind of, you know, kind of stinks at in New England, and not because of him, because of their crappy offense and the rest of the team stinks. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he had a good year in his first year in New England, but he caught 9 touchdowns. I don't really see that happening.
yeah,
And, he got 9 touchdowns and he was still barely a top 12 tight end. Like, usually you catch 9, 10, you're going to be up there. So, yeah, it's ugly. The Patriots are not fun to talk about for fantasy. The only guy I'm really remotely interested in is Rhamondre, and I'm not even super excited to have him. So there you have it. Is there anything to add with Rhamondre here?
no.
No. It's unfortunate, but that's our quickest show of the year. We're gonna finish up less than 15 minutes. There you have it. Hopefully they prove us wrong. Hopefully the Texans last year, Drake May's the real deal, and I think he will be. I think he will be. So, but we'll be back talking about the New Orleans Saints, a little bit more exciting team. Catch you guys all in that video.